What if I told you the Dodge Hemi hides secrets that redefine power? From its iconic roar to game-changing engineering, it crushes the competition with forbidden tech and one mind-blowing design secret. Ready to uncover the legend? Let's dive in. The story of the Hemi starts long before Dodge became the king of V8. The term Hemi, short for hemispherical combustion chamber, was an idea kicking around in the early 20th century. But it was Chrysler and later Dodge that took that idea and truly brought it to life. The first production Hemi, known as the Firepower, appeared in 1951 under Chrysler's banner. This 331 cubic inch monster made an amazing 180 horsepower, which was unheard of for the time. What made it so groundbreaking was its hemispherical combustion chamber, a unique dome shape that provided better airflow and a more complete burn compared to standard flathead engines. The dome reduced heat loss and turbulence inside the chamber, resulting in a more powerful and controlled explosion of the air-fuel mixture. By the mid-1950s, Chrysler's Hemi-powered machines dominated NASCAR, leading to the nickname the Elephant Engine. This wasn't just because of its big size, but because of the immense power and sheer presence it commanded. The core of the Hemi's design is that of a hemispherical combustion chamber, a feature that truly sets it apart. Unlike the flatter combustion chambers in many engines, the Hemi's dome shape lets the intake and exhaust valves sit on opposite sides of the chamber, allowing a straighter path for airflow. Imagine it like a more direct highway for the air and fuel. This unique feature dramatically increases what's called volumetric efficiency, which is just a fancy way of saying that the engine can breathe better. And let's be honest, more breathing means more power. Another amazing thing about this design is that it effectively minimizes engine knock. The dome shape spreads heat more evenly, lowering the chance of early combustion, all while enabling a higher compression ratio. So what does all that tech jargon mean? Well, it translates into more power, but in a controlled, stable way, leading to higher performance and increased longevity for the engine. The Hemi valves are not just any old valves. They are set at specific splayed angles. These angles allow for bigger valves in the chamber, creating more space for the flow of air and fuel into the engine, and even more space for exhaust gases leaving the chamber, pushing performance even higher when at high revs. One trade-off? The wider heads add weight to the engine, which creates engineering challenges that Dodge had already faced with earlier engines. But what made the 426 Hemi so dominant that it was banned from NASCAR? Now, let's jump forward to 1964 and the debut of the iconic 426 Hemi, sometimes referred to as the Gen 2 Hemi. Specifically developed for dominating NASCAR, this 7.0-liter engine was factory rated at 425 horsepower, but seasoned veterans knew this beast was capable of much more. The 426 had forged steel crankshaft, very beefy connecting rods, and huge, heavy-duty aluminum pistons to withstand the stresses of racing at the highest level. They didn't stop there. A unique cross-bolted main-bearing design was included to keep the crankshaft locked securely in place with extra reinforcement. However, because of its clear domination and technical advantage, NASCAR had no choice. 426 was ultimately banned in 1965 due to its competitive advantage. It's too superior, but its legendary status was cemented. Dodge had another ace up its sleeve, making the 426 Hemi available to the public in 1966. That put it in amazing cars such as the Charger, Coronet, and the Plymouth Roadrunner, ushering in the era of the street Hemi and giving regular people the power of a race car, paving a road into muscle car history. After a hiatus during the 1970s due to stricter emissions rules and high fuel costs, Dodge revived the Hemi with the Gen 3 Hemi in 2003, first with a 5.7-liter variant. This wasn't a copy and paste of the old engine. Rather, it was completely rebuilt from ground up and for the needs of the modern driver. This included something never before used in Hemis, cylinder deactivation, which shuts down 4 of the 8 cylinders when driving at light loads and allows you to conserve fuel. It uses special lifters that actually decouple the push rods in certain cylinders, so they just relax instead of continuing to contribute power when it's not needed, giving you an awesome mix of fuel-saving tech and raw power. It's a system so effective it gives amazing fuel numbers. The Gen 3 also has variable camshaft timing or VCT for more flexibility with the engine timing. This adjusts valve timings depending on engine load and revs. The end result is powerful, smooth, and efficient at any time. They were just getting started though. Another standout on the Gen 3 Hemi is a deep skirt block, which significantly cuts vibration and increases rigidity. The engines also began including advanced materials such as aluminum cylinder heads, as well as a composite intake manifold that also reduces engine weight without sacrificing overall strength or performance. Then, if you think the 426 Hemi was the most brutal thing on wheels, you've not yet met the supercharged 6.2-liter Hellcat Hemi. Unleashed in 2015, this engine delivered a staggering 707 horsepower straight from the factory. And if that was not enough, the Red Eye and its brethren pushed the power to a scary 797 horsepower, and that was just the start. They've been upping power ever since. The Hellcat's numbers come thanks to a massive IHI supercharger, a 2.4-liter that's capable of creating over 11.6 psi of boost. Also present were crankshafts, forged from incredibly strong steel tested to a jaw-dropping 1,595 psi of pressure during firing, and to deal with all of the power, they needed special pistons. These were made of forged aluminum that handled all of that power and that immense heat with very little wear and tear. To make sure all of this works properly, they incorporated an over-the-top cooling system, featuring twin intercoolers and its own air chiller system for keeping temperatures down no matter how hard you push it. That's where a big chunk of the Hellcat engineering lies, getting it not just to be powerful, but being powerful all day, every day without failing. But what if all that technical information and historical info was only half of the picture? What if I told you that behind every innovation, every incredible horsepower rating, there were even more details and untold secrets that reveal the Hemi for what it truly is? Keep watching, because we're about to go down a very interesting path. So, what sets the Hemi apart from its competitors? Although many manufacturers went the turbocharging way for more power with smaller engines, the Hemi maintained the philosophy that big displacement will still be more reliable with the technology advancements and kept the classic feeling of raw power from naturally aspirated V8s. The reason Dodge was able to still stick with the Hemi is the core technology upgrades like the cylinder deactivation and variable timing. This has not only created fuel efficiency, but also delivered crazy performance. Dodge realized that their enthusiasts wanted raw power, but without sacrificing too much usability for normal drivers, and the sound of the roaring V8 was also part of that formula that became the unique soul of the Hemis. Another exclusive point about the Hemi is that you find it across multiple models and different car lines, ranging from high-end sports cars such as the Challenger or Chargers and Ram trucks. However, each of these amazing innovative technologies presented their own set of unique engineering and design problems. The Gen 2 Hemis were known to have very finicky cooling systems, which would make tuning these engines a challenge due to constant threat of overheating. The old Hemis also needed to have very strict oil changes. Every 3,000 miles was something the experts asked to keep everything from breaking or failing at unexpected times. Another aspect that many people ignore was that older gen engines, the 1960s models, required special fuel blends to ensure all the components did not get damaged due to the high pressure or detonation they faced every day of the engine's running life. Now, the modern Hemis might not have that issue, but they too present with some flaws. These engines come from the factory designed to perform amazingly, but some specific things like their air intake are made to accommodate most drivers. But performance drivers will soon discover this area of weakness if they want more performance out of these cars. Even modern-day engines face high temperature and overheating during track and intense driving as a direct consequence of producing so much power. This becomes a new issue that engineers have to keep coming back to innovate and to resolve. Now, the amazing quarter-mile figures of each model varied across multiple years. However, some figures still stand out. A stock Challenger Demon would do the quarter mile in 9.65 at 140 miles per hour, with the later versions getting even faster quarter miles, with the newer version hitting similar times at 151 miles per hour. In the tuning space, a 426 Hemi, properly modified, can produce over 800 horsepower. And even the most basic Hellcat can push upwards of 900 with aftermarket forced induction parts and with custom engine tuners. The possibilities for aftermarket tuning are nearly limitless. Why has the Hemi become more than just an engine? What makes it a true legend in automotive history? What do you take away from the legend of the Hemi? It is far more than an engine. It's the embodiment of raw, untamed power. From those NASCAR races from a lifetime ago to the modern muscle car wars of today, the Hemi has always redefined standards for what a V8 can be and what it should achieve. If you want tire shredding performance, thunderous roars, and a unique visceral feeling behind the wheel, look no further. This is what it means to drive a legend. If you like these Hemi secrets and wanted to learn more, then smash that like button, subscribe for more, and don't forget to share. This is our final message. Stay loud, stay fast, and make sure to stay safe. Until the next one.